We're returning now to a deeper dive on Donald Trump's disastrous interview with MAGA Fox News host Laura Ingraham, who at times tried to save Trump from himself, but to no avail as Trump was visibly confused and unhinged. Take a look.
You put out a Truth Social post earlier today.
I did.
Where you blasted the air traffic controllers who had not shown up for work and offered potentially a bonus of $10,000 for those who have worked despite the shutdown. Are you worried that given the fact that we have a deficit of air traffic controllers still, I know we're trying to change that, that might be a difficult
No, we don't
position?
have much of a deficit.
I love it. I mean, so we did a video about this yesterday or the day before. Trump gets on Truth Social and he posts this like unhinged rant to air traffic controllers who are having to work without pay during his government shutdown and his refusal to negotiate with Democrats, which made this the longest shutdown in American history. He attacked them repeatedly and threatened to dock their pay and encourage them, just quit. And Laura Ingraham's like, oh, we are already experiencing an unusual surge in air traffic collisions and delays and issues under your administration as a consequence, in part, of the absence of air traffic controllers. Aren't you going to make it worse? Maybe should you stop? And he's like, no, we don't. I should put out another one.
And we have a lot of people want the job. What I was not happy when I saw all these people, we have to, look, life is not so easy for anybody. Our country's never done better. We should not have had people leaving their jobs. And what I basically did is say the ones that stayed, of which there were a lot of them, I'm sending them a $10,000.
Oh my God. The multi-billionaire privileged reality TV star who gets government subsidized, a $500,000 paycheck from federal taxpayers, who gets, federally subsidized health care and protection around the clock. The most powerful, privileged, and important man on earth is telling people, working class people in his administration who are suffering as a direct consequence of him and his refusal to negotiate with Democrats and his disastrous economic policy, life's pretty, just deal with it. Okay, deal with it. That's insane. And then saying, I'm going to give the ones who stayed $10,000. You don't have the power to do that unilaterally anyway. What a stunningly tone deaf and stupid thing to say, which is why Laura Ingraham is like, oh, for the love of God. But wait, there's more.
Did is say the ones that stayed, of which there were a lot of them, I'm sending them a $10,000 bonus.
Where's that money coming from?
I don't know. I'll get it from someplace. I always get the money from some.
Look at her face.
I always get the money from someplace regardless. It doesn't matter. I do a lot of bonuses for people because it's really something that, it's like the American way when you think about it.
He's just so dumb. I'm actually surprised, again, given how much of a MAGA cultist Laura Ingraham is, that she would ask Trump a question like that. Trump is not a details guy. He's not a facts guy. He's not a, what is logically entailed kind of guy. He's not a, I'm going to think about this thing kind of guy. He's a doer in that he doesn't do most things, and the things he does do are terrible. But like, if you ignore that, they're just going to get their 10 grand. They're probably not going to get it, but I'm going to say it with conviction. I love that. And her facial expression's hilarious. Thank you, Laura. Thank you for that question. Let's continue.
Rewarded others. We can't make it. We can't. A lot of the people that showed up also had a second job. They took a second job temporarily, but they all know the money's coming, and the money was coming. So I want to reward the people that showed up without a lot of nonsense, without a lot of talk. They did their job, and in many cases, they worked longer hours to get us through this period.
Did you all catch what he just did? Did you catch what he just did? So again, he's talking about how many of the air traffic controllers who didn't show up had to go take second jobs because they weren't getting paid in order to pay for their lives. But listen to what Trump says.
A lot of the people that showed up also had a second job. They took a second job temporarily.
Why did they have to do that? Was it the shutdown that they weren't getting their paychecks? Was that the reason that they were taking the second job? Was it because your economy necessitates such a thing? I mean, what a shocking thing to say. Hey, a lot of the people who stayed, they also felt the need to go get a second job in my economy with my shutdown. That's a stupid thing for Trump to say. I'm actually kind of stunned he said it. Thank you for that. All right, let's continue.
Do in life. I figured things out. But it's so, President Xi, was willing to do the rare earth thing, that's magnets. Now, nobody knows what a magnet is. If you don't have a magnet, you don't make a car. You don't make a computer. You don't make televisions and radios and all the other things. You don't make anything. It's a 30-year effort to monopolize a very important thing. Now, within 2 years, we'll have magnets, all the magnets we want, but we don't. Because of tariffs, I called. I said, listen, here's the story. You're going to play the magnet. I'm going to play the tariff on you. And do it in life. I figured things out.
Nobody understands the magnet. These things, nobody understands. That's magnet. How do you magnet? You get magnet. Do America magnet? Magnet. He's just, this dude is so, I don't know what to say other than, he just doesn't know what he's talking about, and he's not used to people pressing him. And it would have been great for Laura Ingraham to be like, Laura Ingraham should have been like, could you explain magnet to me? What is magnet, sir? What is magnet? Here's another clip.
Universities are getting rich off Chinese money.
Sure. Never said about China, but we do have a lot of people coming in from China. We always have, China and other countries. We also have a massive system of colleges and universities. And if we were to cut that in half, which perhaps makes some people happy, you would have half the colleges in the United States go out of business.
So what?
Well, I think that's a big deal.
Are they fans
You would have the
fans of the
historically,
United States?
Yeah, but you would have, as you know, historically black colleges and universities would all be out of business. You would have a system of colleges and universities would
So
go
we're
down the
dependent on
tubes.
China to keep our university system
but
going?
I think it's good to have. I actually think it's good to have outside countries. Look, I want to be able to get along with the world.
They're not the French. They're the Chinese. They spy on us. They steal our intellectual property.
What, do you think the French are better?
Damn, she's actually, hey, listen, low-key props to Laura Ingraham here, giving Trump some sass, laughing at him at times like, what are you talking about? Looking at the camera like, what the hell are you talking about? Okay, but wait, there's more.
I actually think it's good to have outside countries. Look, I want to be able to get along with the world.
They're not the French. They're the Chinese. They spy on us. They steal our intellectual property.
What, do you think the French are better?
Yeah.
I mean, really? I don't know. I'll tell you, I'm not so sure. We've had a lot of problems with the French where we get taxed very unfairly on our technology, where, you know, they put 25% tax.
Did he just call tariffs a tax? You see what he did there? He's really dumb. He's really dumb because he accidentally told the truth. It just cuts against all the lies that he's told about tariffs. I thought tariffs weren't taxes. Isn't that what he's been saying? Defying Economics 101. He's like, yeah, we've been taxed. We've been taxed by their tariffs. Oh, so tariffs are a tax. Okay, that's interesting. Trump, of course, also suggesting that the French, one of our longest allies, I mean, Jesus, our alliance with the French helped actually establish this country. It was the alliance with the French that enabled General Washington, the Continental Army, to defeat the British, right? Comparing them to our likely foremost geopolitical adversary, China. Yeah, but again, this is Trump. Trump admires Xi Jinping and he hates Emmanuel Macron, the French president. This is just how his brain works.
So I want to get along with countries if possible. You know, people are shocked. Remember, Hillary Clinton said, we'll be in a war. I stopped 8 wars in the last 9 months. I don't want to be in wars. If I am in a war, we're going to win the thing fast and it'll be violent. But you know what? I don't want to be in.
He's like, I don't want to be at war. I'm a president of peace. But if we do get into war, we're just going to fucking crush everybody. We're just going to be so violent. All right, here Trump turns his attention to some of his Democratic critics, like Governor Gavin Newsom.
He did something. He did something even worse than that. He's now taking a big section of Palisades or some area, and he's going to build low-income housing where they used to have luxury housing. He's going to put low-income housing in. His fire stuff is out of control. The forests are burning down all over the place.
What are you talking about, man? His fire. This is what I mean with Trump. When it comes to his attacks with Gavin Newsom. So Gavin Newsom was not taking a big section of the Palisades. And again, I'm kind of confused here because it's like Trump has been misrepresenting Governor Newsom's response to the fires at the beginning of this year and late last year, and wildly overstating his involvement with ending the California wildfires, Trump's involvement, right? I released the water in the reservoir. which was, of course, a colossal waste of time, effort, energy, and resources because it didn't amount to anything. And now he's saying, okay, what Newsom should be doing, apparently, is pricing out people, California residents, in order to build luxury real estate. I'm not exactly sure. So you think Newsom is catering too much to the poor? Like, what the hell are you talking about? And what the hell does that have to do with the fire? Are you saying that Newsom is exploiting the fire for political purposes to advantage the poor over the rich? Is that what you're saying? And to what extent are you ready to defend that proposition as a bad thing? Newsom, he cares way too much about the poor people. Way too much. Too concerned with how poor people live. What about the rich? Not good. But again, that's Trump's gentrification real estate brain instead of his public servant brain on full display, to the extent that he has that second mode. Here's him talking about Jasmine Crockett.
This Crockett, this is a very low IQ person. And I look at somebody that comes from Somalia where they don't have anything. They don't have police, they don't have military, they don't have anything. All they have is crime. And she comes in and tells us how to run our country. The Constitution says this, the Constitution. The whole thing is crazy.
So the Constitution, he cracks me. He really does crack me up sometimes because he just gives the whole thing away. He's laughing at the idea, people give a shit about what the Constitution, just because Mr. President, the Constitution says you can't be a God, king, emperor who rules forever. Like, whatever, loser. Like, that's how his brain works. Of course, this is the man who in 2022 famously demanded on Truth Social, he put out a Truth Social post saying that the Constitution should be terminated in order to remove President Biden from office and put Trump back into office based on election fraud, evidence of which, of course, he never produced. So anyway, folks, that was a brief overview of Trump's disastrous Fox News interview in which he said all sorts of stupid, unhinged, dishonest things. And again, at various points, even Laura Ingraham, who not only was trying to save him from himself, but even she was laughing at him like, what are you talking about, you moron? You'd love to see him. In the meantime, let me know what you think in the comments.